Hey there everyone, this is Yui. Welcome to episode 20 of Glacial Awakening. Today we're going to keep going in chapter 5, so let's get to it. Now, when we left off, I combined my two reactors into one, so it basically just uses twice the amount of fuel for now. But let's head back downstairs. So, when we left off, we finished up making the metallurgic infuser and the enrichment chamber. So the first thing I want to do is automate them. I already made most of the recipes up, but we're going to make first, let's do the enrichment chamber first because they are very straightforward. So they're all going to be very similar. You're going to want to make your compressed, and you're also going to want to make obsidian dust. So if you already have obsidian dust in the crusher, just move it over and it'll be fine. These are, like I said, very straightforward. Just click on them, hit the plus button, and they're good to go as is. So do that for all of them. Your compressed carbon, diamond, obsidian, which is refined obsidian, and redstone, and then your obsidian dust. Now the other one we're going to do is the infuser. So this is what you're going to need for your infuser. Actually, before we do that, let me go drop off these patterns. One of you guys can go... Yeah, sure. There. That way I have access to underneath. Alright, so for your infuser, they're all going to be very similar. You're going to need one of your compressed things, 8 of the objects or items that you're going to infuse it with, and then 8 of the results. So I've already made a bunch of these patterns up, but I'm going to make one with you guys, which is going to be to make the alloys. So what you're going to have to do is, in your pattern terminal, put your compressed item first, then put your 8 items second. Now at this point you probably don't have the result, so just go and run it through the machine. And then for me, I have it exporting like all my other machines into an interface, so they'll show up in storage. And they're there. But I already have them on me, so I can just take the resultant, put them in there, and create the pattern. So that goes the same for all of them. When you're going to set up all these, do them all. So that way you can make steel automatically, you have your circuits, and you have the advanced alloys. The refined obsidian dust is simply a stepping stone to making the atomic alloy, because you need the compressed obsidian, which is made with the refined obsidian dust. So go ahead and make all those up. I already have them, and you've seen how to do one, so I'm not going to make them all over again. But let's go set it up. So the problem with the infuser is that it needs 2 input slots. There is no side configuration that allows you to input both input and infuse. There's nothing that combines the two. So they have to be separate. So the best way to do this is just throw a chest or some sort of inventory. Get yourself some item conduits. Extract from there and insert it into 2 different sides. We're going to disable that. So we're going to insert into the bottom in this case and the back. Oh, I need to extract from, I can't see. Extract from here, always active. Alright. What we're going to do though, just for funsies, I don't know if this will matter. It shouldn't. I'm just going to up the priority on my back, which is the infusion slot right here. So that means the item will try to go there first, and if it can't, it'll go into the other slot. Now we're just going to attach the interface to the chest or the whatever you're using. I'm using a crate. And then throw your patterns in. Then let me just fill in the floor, and it's actually good to go. Remember, these are set to output on the top. We don't need any of that. So the output on the top, so input on the back or the bottom for the infuser case, and they're good. So now if we, oh, one more thing. This interface, do not push crafting items if inventory contains items. This is very important if you get into crafting complex things that require multiple infusions. I don't know an example offhand, but if I were to rapidly craft, say, steel, I just put a ton of steel in here, so let's see. This is going to be way too quick. Okay, never mind. I'll just show you visually what'll happen. If you grab something that would end up crafting multiple, let's say you're crafting a batch of alloys, a batch of steel, and a batch of circuits. And let me grab all this junk out. And carbon. Alright. So if you do not block inventory, what will happen is it would say craft oh. No, don't do that. I forgot. It's still set to export. Let's try this again. Give me this and iron. And then you need 4 more. Yes, there. Alright. So if you're not blocking, what'll happen is, say, it'll put in, I don't know, it'll do that first, right? And then say it wants to do the steel next. So it puts in a piece of carbon and then it puts in the iron, but now the iron's stacked there. And then it wants to do, say, the circuits at the same time too, so it throws it in. That's how it would end up looking. So what you would end up getting is 16 alloys and osmium trying to be infused with carbon. So you lose on 2 of the 3 fronts. So it doesn't work. Make sure you set it to blocking, and it'll be good. Now with that set up, we can now automate a lot of the mechanism things. First thing we're going to need for the quest, I believe, is the osmium compressor. So let's make a recipe for that. I already made recipes for the advanced circuit stuff. They are just crafting recipes for all the circuits. There. That's just crafting, and crafting. They're all pretty straightforward. Let's get a compressor because we need that for one thing I want. Let's get an interface going. And there we go. Alright. Oh, we'll probably need a bit of osmium. So let's just throw this on the chain somewhere. Let's hook it up. Always extract, sure. Side configuration, output on top, input on the back. Oh, this requires extra too. Alright. Purple on the back and red on the bottom. This is going to be the same situation. So let me just grab this stuff and set this up, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, and we're back. So I've got a recipe here. This is refined obsidian dust and 1 osmium. Actually, no. Let's swap that. 1 osmium and 1 obsidian. This is not entirely accurate. So to help counter that, we're going to take our machine and we're just going to put a few osmium in there to begin with. So this takes a little more than a bar. Apparently it takes 200. Okay. So I'm just going to basically stock osmium in here manually, and when it adds the ingot, it'll balance it up a little bit. So this will work for a while, but you might have to manually go and add osmium every so often doing it this way, because we're not using the liquid stuff. Alright, no. Let's go put this in. So I set this up. I'm using a panel so it doesn't connect to this storage crate as well. Underneath is the same, just exporting. Importing infusion with a slightly higher priority, and on the bottom we're inserting the red slot, the regular input. So we should be able to just throw it in. Extract, yeah, always active. So this should roughly be working. Oh no, that was it. Obsidian. Like I said, it'll put the osmium in there, but it'll use a little bit. So every time it goes through it, it looks like it uses 10 extra. But there we go. So now we have obsidian going. So with that, I wanted to make a digital miner. I already made all the other recipes. The hardest part is going to be these teleportation cores. They require an ender crystal, which requires your soul binder, which requires this soul machine chassis, which requires this dye blend. So the fanciness here is this soul powder is just the solarium crushed down, so that's nothing big. But this organic stuff is alloy smelter with some weird stuff. But crafting tweaks is added in a couple recipes, it looks. Because these don't look normal to me. But you can use cocoa beans, an egg, and carbon dust to get the brown. And you can use carbon and an egg to get the black. So you don't have to worry about the chancing it with the sag mill to get the twigs and prunings, because they're not a guaranteed chance. To help that out, I just simply have way over here, I took my farm down because I just had way too much, and there are just chickens under here. So every so often they poop out an egg and it goes into storage. So I've been using that. If you don't remember how to, you just use your amplifying tubes with the what's that called? The mysterious dust block thing. This, you craft it in 2x2. Yeah, it's a mysterious dust block. That's exactly what it is. And then you throw the limestone rock into it. Right here. And you get 8 eggs, so you can make a few chickens like that if you do not have any already. Anyways, did I actually craft that? No. So let me tell that to go. So the end crystal, though, Like I said, you need your soul binder, which needs that weird stuff. But you also need to get a soul vial and capture yourself 2 Endermen. And then you're going to have to manually put it in. And it will take experience. So you can't really automate this. Well, you probably could if you pipe in experience. I haven't actually tried. And I don't intend to. That you really only need 1 of these. Who's doing something? A robot? Someone got stuck. Cancel. Robot. Stored. Oh, it must not like these energy tablets. Or no, it doesn't like the chest. Then we'll just make it manually. That's fine. It got us most of the way there. What are you complaining about now? That must not like the robot. Nope, it doesn't like the sorters. Okay. There we go. Good enough. So this thing would have been helpful a long time ago, but we kinda couldn't do it a long time ago, so we have it now. Just for fun, I'm gonna drop it right here. Let me get a conduit, a crate. Oh, and a few upgrades. At least energy, and we'll wait on speed. Because I am really low on osmium. Alright. Put this here. Oh, so there are going to be several spots. This yellow one on the top and the back are for output. This green one are for power. So we'll just connect the power up to the side here, and I'm just going to put the crate on the back, and I'm going to tell it to auto eject. So it'll say eject on. Now I set this up. I really only want this for one thing, which is osmium, and actually maybe tungsten too. Right? Tungsten and osmium. I am going to... We don't have to silk touch because we're not actually mining anything that will matter. But you can silk touch here at the bottom left. It just increases the power usage. So we're going to hit configure. Radius. I usually just type 99, but it goes up to 32. Max is going to be a little higher. I'm going to go to 70. So hit new filter or dictionary, and then you can do, so if you hold shift over it, you see or osmium. You can type that in, hit the check mark, and it'll put a picture here. If it does not, then you have it wrong. And if there are more than one things that match it, it will cycle through them. So hit save. We'll add another one for tungsten. And there we go. So we have both. Now what we can do is just hit start. There you go. It found 200 of, well, one or the other. And it'll just slowly fill this up. So this is how I will be getting my tungsten and my osmium moving forward. Because I am tired of looking for it. Mostly tungsten, huh? Alright, stop. Reset, configure, and delete. There, how many of that? 36. That is not a lot. But I do need that Much more so. Alright, that is not part of the quest. So let's make these chemical combiners and dissolvers. We'll just make a basic pattern for it. Don't think I have insulated glass covered. I do. Okay, never mind. Because I needed that for the arc furnace. Oh, the heavy, the HV stuff. So let's just craft these up, I suppose. Empty frame. And my tin like that? Yes. Try this again. You're good. And osmium. See, I'm already missing osmium. So I'll be back in a moment once I process some of this osmium up. Alright, and we're back. So I made a bunch of stuff up. So I made the recipes for the chemical things, and I made the recipes for most of the stuff for the rest of this chapter. So let's just go ahead and grab out these other machines. They're all very straightforward now that we can auto-craft pretty much everything. They just require the enhanced machine chassis. The lava buckets, I have a tank here of lava. I just pull it from there and throw it in storage and let it craft. So let's just grab these out to finish up the quests. That way we don't have to waste too much time on them, because I'm not going to set these ones up. At least, well, I might set up the crusher eventually, but not really. Alright, there we go. So all that's left now in this chapter is the fission multi-block. So let's put this stuff away and let's go do some setting up. So we're going to need our chemical combiner and our dissolver. Can we extract from the top? I don't remember. We'll find out. But going where I don't want you to go. Alright. Always active. Always active. So we're going to give him 2 interfaces. And I need a conduit. This one. No. And no. Alright. Both of these, no. The combiner is going to be do not push if there are items in it. The other one doesn't matter, because that's just breaking stuff down. So, we have all of these. So we need to get into fission. So we're going to need chromium, barium, magnesium. I don't think we need that. We definitely don't need that. And then this fancy arcane glass, which will be a different rabbit hole. So we'll do that one last. So for chromium, so if the recipe has all the ingredients going in a line starting from the top left to the right and then the next row over, so if it goes in this slot, oop, I did not mean to click. Let me see. Do I have sticks? There. So if it starts in the top left and it keeps going over, like say if it's 5 ingredients in that shape, this is fine. Or 6 in this shape, 7 in that shape, 8, 9. As long as it fills in left to right and top to bottom, any recipe in the combiner will work. If it requires specific layout, like diamond, if I'm not mistaken, at least in what was that other one? The alchemistry one. Antimatter chemistry, that's it. Where the middle is blank, this requires a combiner with the recipe locked to that crafting only. So this will not work in a general crafting one. So with that in mind, we can make chromium, make a recipe for that. We can do barium because that's top left also. Well, that's all we need really. We can add more to this if we want. So we need those, but we don't have any chemicals right now because we literally just got it. So to get chromium, there's a few options. You can break down orange dye twice. What's this? Lime dye twice. And we'll do emerald though. Emerald, I have a lot of it, and it's a straightforward breakdown. So for less confusion's sake, because this is way too many ingredients, I don't think the terminal will like that. Let's go with this. There we go. And we'll throw that into the dissolver. So it should be able to make chromium now. We craft up, say, 4, because I know we'll need at least 4. Or we'll need a lot more than that. Head back down, make sure it's working. Yep, it's just a little slow. I will add conduit upgrades. They look like these extraction speed upgrades. I'll add some of them to this. I just don't have a recipe for them, I don't think. Did this craft already? I didn't watch it. Yeah, it did. So that'll work. And then we just do the same thing for barium, which is breaking down nether quartz. The block looks like it should work because it's not going over a stack. We'll just throw that in there. And chemical dissolver. There we go. So now we can make barium. Alright, so that's that. Means we should be able to make the fission. We need 3 of these. Looks good. And then we need, what was it, 98? I don't remember. Yeah, it was 98. Alright. 9, yes. 98. Look at it go. Alright. You have fun with that, computer. In the meantime, we're going to do arcane glass. Alright. I do not have a recipe. So let's just start from the top down. We're going to need this gold. We don't have. Looks like we're going to craft it. Which is going to use these 2 weird dusts. Oh, this dust uses that other one. So let's just make a recipe for that. We need gas tiers, which let's just do a simple recipe. We'll use the matter that we've been getting. Yeah, I don't have one yet. Sugar, there you go. I am running out of room. Alright, let's fill it in. Okay, back to here. We need prismarine crystals. not Castiers, Prismarine. There we go, which is going to be we're going to use the manufactory, but it's the same recipe, which will just break down the shard into the crystal. And to get the shard, we're going to use the atomic reconstructor. Just simply nether quartz. So if we find our reconstructor, which should be a bunch of blocks in a crate right here. There we go, and the manufactory is the dust. So that should technically work. Let's see here. Alternatively, if you want, you can go around and break sea lanterns at the astral sorcery things. Yes, no, maybe. Oh, it needs a... It's not told to pick it up. There you go. Perfect. Alright, so we're good with that recipe. Now we need this regular arcane crystal dust, which means we need arcane crystal, which means we need arcane crystal ore. Yep, alright. Yeah, fun, huh? So I am going to try something. No promises if this will work or not, but we're going to try it anyways. So I have here a block detector from Ender.io. This thing, if you put a block on top of it, so this is outputting a signal. If you put a block on top of it, it closes it. Simple as that. So the concept here is hopefully, and we'll find out in a second. There's something under here. Okay. Hopefully water does not do the same. And it does. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's not going to work. Mob detector. We might have to go with an observer. Let me look around and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I've been playing around. I don't have anything that works yet, so I think we're just going to call it here. I've been playing around with this placer and doing some... I was going to create a recipe for the liquid souls and have it collect it, fluid import it into the system up here, and then possibly somehow export it into a fluid placer with the other parts going into a dropper. I haven't set it up yet, and I need to experiment around with it to see if it's actually doable. So with that, we're just going to call this episode here. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.